What's your pleasure, sir?
All right. Well, welcome to a new episode of the Cinephiles and Cenobites podcast. My name is Onofre, and with me, my hetero life mate, Mox.
Hey, what's up, man?
Today, we're going to be reviewing It, Chapter
Yeah.
2.
Highly anticipated.
All right. So now it's present day Derry,
2016. Yeah.
2016. Well, I think it was 1989. The
Is that
events
the
of
first one? Yeah.
Okay. And 27 years later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I just remember I'd seen them flash the date 2016. So I was
2016.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Couple
right.
years ago, couple
27. People are still on flip phones.
years. In 2016.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
All right. So this movie is 3 hours long. Like
Just about, right? Like, fuck, man.
well, it was a good pace, but then when but it wasn't one of those. Wow, 3 hours passed. Damn.
No, you
No.
knew you were there for
Yeah.
a while, but you're right. Actually, I'll have to say the first hour, maybe 15, it was slow to draggy, but once it picks up, it doesn't let you go because I was gonna go smoke a cigarette around the 1 hour, 15, 20 mark. Oh, I was waiting for like the next lull, and then it never came, which is good though. The fact that they managed to keep it that kind of event packed and taut for that long, after the midpoint, or not even the midpoint. That's maybe the fucking, I don't know, the fourth point, the third. I don't know, but it was. You're right. The pacing goes and it just goes. But you do feel the impact, but you feel it more on the front end than the back end.
So the film starts, I think, the way the book starts too. It's at a carnival, and it is back, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It starts taking people out, and just like the book too, it goes back and forth. So we got present day Losers Club, and then they kind of fill in gaps from the previous film.
Yes,
because I guess there's that break.
right.
That
When they were like, "Fuck you,"
right
until everybody, we got to go help. Yeah, there was like a short break in that summer because right after that scene in Bill's or somebody's fucking thing where they're looking at the projector and Pennywise attacks them through the screen. Most of them are like, "Fuck this! So I'm done. I want a regular summer like a kid." And Bill's like, "No, we gotta find him." Then they're like, "Fuck you, man! You're only saying this because you lost your brother. Fuck you! Don't ever say that." And then they're like, "Well, fuck you! I'm done. We're all done. Then fuck you." They all go on their own ways, and I like that they filled in that time, that gap in this one.
Yeah.
The only thing though, that part it felt a little bit too much like just backstory setup. It didn't push the story forward that much, and they gave literally like four people's gaps, so it started to get tiresome.
Right.
Because you see what Bill did, you see what Beverly did, you see what Richie did, you see what fucking nerdy guy did.
Stanley? No.
Stanley, yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
Stanley.
Eddie.
No. Eddie, yeah, sick boy.
In the chapter 2, they focus a lot on the individual, like individually when they arrive back to Derry.
Yeah.
And they gotta find their own charm.
Yeah.
And spoiler, compared to the original television movie, right?
Oh yeah.
Mike survives.
Oh wow, you're giving an actual full blown spoiler. I was just gonna say, spoiler alert, Jessica Chastain is fine.
Well, compare, right? Like he's at the ending. They're gonna keep him, but I don't know if that's the way the book had it. So
yeah, I have no idea about that. All I know for certain is that Jessica Chastain is super fine. Also, this is probably her most vulnerable performance I've seen since maybe Jolene back in the fucking mid to late 2000s. Every character she plays now I feel like she used to work for the CIA or some shit. She's always cold and collected, or she's like really smart, or she's like really tough. You know,
Yeah.
fucking in this one, she's getting abused. She's crying a lot. She's having a love story. Like, when's the last time you seen Jessica Chastain in a fucking love story?
Mm.
So this is probably my favorite performance of her in a while. Maybe in all the 2010s. Just amazing. Such vulnerability, and she needed to, so that we can feel scared as an audience. Also, too, because the filmmakers are working against the fear factor by making it so fucking hilarious.
Mm. And leading up to watching the film, all the ads I've seen for this movie,
Right, Bill Hader this, Bill
Bill
Hader that.
Hader's king. Amazing. Bill Hader this. I was like, okay, move me, Bill Hader. I mean,
Oh, you thought it would be a moving, dramatic performance as
well,
opposed to him killing it comedically. Yeah,
well, like just him killing it in general. And so, like after the movie, it wasn't like he outshined or outperformed or stole the
true,
show.
true,
I mean,
true,
he
true.
was, I think, just an equal among his peers,
Right.
among the
To me, the
losers.
the
Yeah.
most the most powerful moment though was between Fat Boy and Jessica Chastain. Right, they're both trapped in their individual worlds, and oh, sorry, spoiler alert. They're both trapped in their individual nightmares, and then the Fat Boy is about who's not fat anymore. He's like gorgeous and ripped now as a adult. Anyway, he's about to get like buried in the dirt of his own shit, and then she's about to get drowned in blood and fucking attacked by the demon of her dad. And then he's like, "I love you, Beverly." And then she hears him, and then she like fucking breaks out of her prison, reaches into his, and their hands connect, and they like save each other. And then
Mm.
I think they fall into a water somehow, and then they make out. I was like, fuck, that's powerful. That's what it should be. The best romance of the year. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
How
Between
is it the best romance of the year? What the fuck? Is this a horror movie or what?
B&B from Ben and Beverly.
Beverly. Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay. But the grown-ups compared to
They hit it spot on, yeah.
yeah,
Fuck.
especially with Eddie, um,
Yeah, Eddie, the James Ransone.
James
Yeah. Oh,
Ransone.
did you want to share your tidbit of info that you know about James Ransone and his connection to popular music?
The band Saves the Day. Their second album, Through Being Cool, turned 20 this year, and Chris Conley kind of shared some or did like an oral history about the album, and he pointed out um, people involved with the photo shoot they did and album cover and work that they did with their friends. And so if you look on that album, on the back cover, there's this guy passed out on the couch after like a late night party. And you don't see his face, but it turns out it's James Ransone on that couch.
Right.
Like so, like because he's friends with the band, and so that's total. Like Chris Conley said, that's him. And he's like, yeah, so he's like an actor. You might have seen him in some movies. He's in the new It. It's like, that's him? All right. Well, cool, man. Just to point out, his wife
James Ransone's wife.
in the movie is
Oh yeah, yeah, is the actress that played his mom.
his mom. It's crazy. I remember reading that part because I never finished it, but I got through a good chunk of it. But it turns out that like I guess his wife is supposed to be like us like the exact same person as his mom. And so I remember watching the first movie and thinking, okay, they got her spot on as described in the book, and it just they don't go any deeper than what they show in the movie. But as if you know how it goes, it's like, okay, yeah, that's spot on. But I thought that was weird too. But it turns out he never outgrew his sickness. He's still a sick boy.
Right. You know what? I think a lot of them were psychological that his mom put there.
Mm.
And now that when he got back to Derry, it just got worse. But already he was kind of having a fit right before the accident in New York or wherever, before the car accident. When he finds out he was on his way to get medication or something like that, right? Sick boy.
And we got
funny boy.
Isaiah Mustafa.
Mm, Mr. Fucking
I'm on a horse. No. I was like, who is that? What? Why does he look so familiar? Oh shit, that's him. Yeah. But the actor who played adult Stanley, Andy Bean, because yeah, it was kind of misleading because the next person on the list was Beverly, and so we see
oh
this
no.
naked body go into the bathtub. Is that
Right, right.
Beverly?
And then I got excited too, just for that split second till you realize that is a male silhouette.
No,
Ugh. And then he
that's a
climbs in the
male.
tub.
That was a male dude. That was a male or male dude. That was a male
Male
nude
ass,
ass. That was
ass,
a
and
man. That
fucking
was a guy's
thighs
ass.
and shit. Yeah. But they purposefully did that, fuckers, right? They set us up to expect because they introduced Beverly last. They introduced
Mm,
Jessica Chastain
yeah.
last as they go through, as Mike goes through the list of calling up all the old homies. We get to Beverly last, and so we see all the names on his little list checked off, and now we have Beverly. And then cut to the bathroom scene. All we see is naked flesh entering frame, and then it focuses up, and it's a man.
Mm. So like as the movie like progressed, did you feel like a connection with the characters? Were you like,
Not
I'm
really,
into this?
honestly. Not so much. I felt like I connected way more with the children in the first one.
Mm. 'Cause
What
then
about you?
like as adults, right? They're like, no, this is not happening. Like you treat it how you would treat anything. Like, oh no, this
Right.
clown does not exist. We are let's just get out of here.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get the fuck out. Honestly, I would. I'm not stay around. Like if I had to leave because of a monster, and then I forgot about it, and then I came back, and then I remembered about the monster, I'm getting the fuck out. No ways. Plus, none of them had any personal stakes, or like they had no family in town. There was no one they needed to protect directly. All they had was this grudge thing from the past, and saving kids in this town they're not related to. So I mean, they're heroes, but I would have got the fuck out. And I
Mm.
understand that was a lot of their first instincts. Even fucking Professor X.
Ah. And I guess that whole fight scene, like at the end, like it was a lot of just back and forth. Like I didn't feel like it was.
It wasn't that powerful to me
Yeah,
emotionally.
it was. It really wasn't. Like I was like, okay, like
It did
the
feel more like a tennis match in the sense, right? It was a rally, like, oh, they got the
ah
upper hand. No, he got the upper hand. Oh,
right.
they got the upper hand.
Because then like the only way to fight back Pennywise is not to be afraid of him, right?
Basically, yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, tennis match exactly. It was back and forth. But I mean,
And then, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe it was because it was just long, like, but I wasn't like hurry up, like I want to get out of
Mm-hmm,
here. Like it was
mm-hmm,
just
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it was a lot of story,
Yeah,
and they did spend time like with each
they spent
individual,
time. They did. They
like
did
it's like everyone got like their screen time, and it's like okay,
for sure.
we focus on each. So I guess that was just to help to build the connection with each
Right.
character.
Actually, you know who they gave the least amount of time, other than Suicide Boy? Fucking, they gave the least amount of time to the black dude. The one black dude in this movie.
Hmm.
You can imagine Spike Lee is probably pretty pissed.
Well, you think maybe as like the character because he stayed in Derry, so it's
Yeah,
like
they didn't have, I guess, that much to explore with him because he's been cognizant of it the past 27 years
he's
as
been
well.
waiting. Like okay,
Right.
I got 27 years to prepare. Like this is
The
what I'm
rest
gonna
of
do.
them, right, it's like a subconscious thing. And did you see Bill's wife? Bill's wife, I think subconsciously he still had a thing for Beverly because she is pale skinned, ginger haired, freckled, looking just like fucking Jessica Chastain.
Hmm.
I think that's actually Jessica Chastain's good friend Jess Wexler, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see that connection. No, no. His wife and Beverly, like how
Beverly,
they
yeah.
look similar. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Huh.
almost the mom with Eddie kind of deal. Like somewhere in his mind, this childhood love romance thing, he makes him drawn to these strong-willed, damaged redheads.
Ah, I see. And it's interesting. Like uh, when Bill bought that bike. All right, that was pretty. That was pretty funny.
Right.
But when we see him like as a kid, and he goes, "Hi, old Silver, away!"
Right.
Like, did they still watch that in the 80s? Like,
I was just thinking that would be old even for him, because
yeah,
that shit is black and that shit was way past rerun when, because he was a kid around when we were kids in the 80s. Like in 89, I would have been 9, and I think they were what, 12, 13 maybe.
yeah,
So I only remember Lone Ranger
yeah.
through references and maybe episodes maybe here and there, but there's no way that was like, I would expect him to say Thundercats Ho more
Mm,
than Hi Ho Silver.
all right. Well, and then again, this is, small town, middle of nowhere, USA. So
Hmm.
maybe they had old programming. But,
Yeah, but there's no way
yeah,
Derry is
yeah,
more remote than Hawaii. So whatever we seeing in Hawaii in '89, they are guaranteed ahead of us.
they're ahead of
Sorry, Derry, you're not as podunk as Hawaii. Anywhere in Hawaii,
Hawaii
we are
89.
behind you. Yes. Even now, whatever's going on in anywhere in Maine is still ahead of anywhere in Hawaii.
Hmm.
Hawaii is the back end. Sorry about it. Sorry, Hawaii. You're the 50th state for a reason.
All right. So, like closing thoughts on it.
Initially, because I went in with a certain kind of expectation, I was very disappointed, almost to the point of maybe being a bit resentful. But having some time in between the week that has passed, or the almost week that's passed, having some time to ruminate, I would recommend this movie. Be prepared for 3 hours of viewing. Be prepared for a bit of a lull at the beginning, and be prepared for the tone to be less horror, more coming of age, romance, and comedy.
Yeah, yeah. Well put. Exactly. And we get to know a little bit more of the background as the Losers Clubs as kids too.
Right.
Because we get introduced to that. Well, I thought it was a treehouse, but no,
Fort. Yeah,
it
it's
was
like
an
an
underground
underground.
lair.
Yeah,
Like,
it's even
oh,
more
okay,
dangerous than a tree fort. Like if the shit would have cave in,
it's over
they'd be
already.
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But that was a good way to tie in Fat Boy, right? Because eventually he becomes an architect, like a successful, handsome, rich architect guy.
sure, yeah.
Oh, do you remember his introduction? That was a nice pivot. They're in the boardroom talking about ideas for this next huge client, right? And the guy standing up who seems to be in charge is this big, fat, middle aged guy who we assume would be Ben. And then it pivots to an off screen voice from a guy telecommunicating or video conferencing in. And we can tell, oh, this guy is the real guy in
Mm,
charge. Then we focus on him, handsome dude. He's so rich that he doesn't even have a shirt on and he's in his PJs. Come for find out, that is Ben,
yeah,
not
yeah.
fat anymore. Nice introduction. Plus, I like the transitions that they used because there's so many characters and it moves between them, especially during the surreal parts. They have a nice way of moving the camera kind of topsy turvy, almost like uh, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, in the way how the camera moves so that you feel the shift in perspective. So that was a nice transitory move by Andy Muschietti. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend this movie. What about you?
Yeah. I just to watch it, you know, it's 3 hours, yes, but um, there's a lot of good story and
Hmm. Hmm.
good just background story, getting to know these characters again. You
Right.
learn stuff new. It's not redundant.
Right.
It's like, oh, they already told us that. So you learn a lot of new stuff as a kid, and it does fill in potholes when they go back and forth from the 80s to present time.
To know. Right.
Um, and also, like, I was just thinking of the Richie and Eddie's relationship.
Yes, they. That is a good one. Yeah. They put a finer point on that, and I like that. Other than Ben and Beverly,
Yeah,
Richie and Eddie is probably the most prominent relationship that you care about, and that really becomes poignant. They're those kind of friends, you know. Kind of a deeper love buried under an outward dissing, and because like Richie is mercilessly bagging on Eddie.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But I mean, it seems like he had just a good rapport with each of those guys. I mean, like him and Stanley. at or Richie was present at Stanley's bar mitzvah.
Dorm as well.
Um, and then yeah, just with Eddie too, just going back and forth the whole time. Yeah, I mean, he was just a solid dude. But and if you read the books, I think technically his first date was with Beverly, and I think that was Beverly's first date too, ever.
With Richie.
Yeah, with Richie, like
Wow.
on a technicality, like they mentioned it in the book, like they both hung out together, like just them two, and then they also make an appearance in that the James Franco one.
1162 or
Yeah, they do.
2299. Right.
Right.
55. Hut. Oh, okay. Before we go, scariest monster, hands down.
Oh,
Who had the scariest it manifestation?
well, see, in this one, it wasn't a spider, so it was more believable, but it was CG heavy.
And I hate that, but I mean, just of the monsters that came at each individual, which one was the scariest to you?
Oh, it was definitely I felt it was Beverly's one.
Me too, hands down.
Yeah,
That shit, even though CG,
yeah,
that shit, it was still pretty. Like fuck that. Don't
yeah.
never come around with that shit. I might shit my pants. Like
Like
that's
that was
fuck
terrifying.
that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was that was pretty fucking bad, right? That was
Because it just came out of the
yeah.
darkness, really.
And it like ran at her, right? It straight
Yeah,
came at her, right?
yeah, for sure. So that
Fuck
was the
that.
scariest
Yeah.
one for sure. Yeah.
I wish I didn't bring that up. Now that's all I'm seeing in my mind. Fucking yeah. If you haven't seen this movie yet, but you have seen what's Stephen King's other one with the maze and the hotel?
Shining.
Yeah, if you have seen The Shining, then picture that, but they give it a little more screen time and a bigger jump scare.
Sure. All right. So you heard it here. It Chapter 2.
Go
Watch
CC.
CC. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Thank you for checking it out. Be sure to check out this episode's show notes for links to all our social media sites. But other than that, be sure to visit our website, nekkomedia.com. That's Nekko media.com.
.com.
And we also be on Twitter and Instagram. Very active on both of those. And you can check those out at cynical_mass. That's CINECAL_MASS. And feel free to get in touch through email, cinephiles and cenobites@gmail.com. Any movie recommendations, we'd love to check it out. Any screeners,
Any screeners?
we'd love to review. Any potential guests? Yeah, we love having guests on the show too.
Yeah, if you're a filmmaker, fucking hit us a line and we'll get you on the show. Ask you your top 6 movies and what it's like to be an artist like you.
Oh, yes. And any fellow cinephiles and cenobites, you are welcome.
Yes.
Any place that they can hit you up, Marks?
At villainous_kind, Instagram and fucking Twitter, but don't bother. I rarely check it except when I'm drunk. So
okay.
I'd either send it to Ono or the show.
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter at thisisono. That's this is OHNO. Same goes for Instagram.
Oh
no. Yup. All right. Well, thank you again. Take it away, Annika.
This has been a Nekko Media podcast broadcasting from the Blood Cave, part of the /tag Pollard family. For myself, Annika Pussyfoot, Mox, and Ono, keep the lights on and check under that bed because there's only one universal truth. No lives matter. That means you. Stay rating, Wokeland.
We have candy.
Probably both, it's really bad. And we do the shit all for you. tiger.